ex-nun turns healer.
Oh my God, no.
Something hilarious. I don't know.
Oh God.
Secret life of mental projectors. Let's dive deep into the mysterious, misunderstood world of the most complex design in the entire human design system. So today I have the pleasure of having a very special person on this show with me. Angelica is a 1-3 mental projector who I got to meet because she found my content on YouTube and booked a reading. Yeah, we had the pleasure of being together on the Mental Projector Mystery School as well together. So I got to know her a little bit deeper. So I'm really pleased she's joining me today. She has an undefined throat. She has the ajna and the crown defined. So with the undefined throat, sometimes this is like a challenge to get our undefined throat mental projector speaking. But I think it's so important to hear your voice because you really represent the deep wisdom that mental projectors have. And I'm so grateful you're here to speak with me today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sarah. It is a real treat to be here with you, and I appreciate your kindness inviting me to be here today with you.
Yeah, so let's start with a little bit about you. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit about your story, like who are you now? I mean, we know you're always in transformation, but what do we need to know about you now? Like, who are you?
Well, I was born in Colombia, in Bogota. Spanish is my first language. At age 25, I moved to the United States, where I live right now. And the whole journey of my life has been about experimenting and realizing, trying to figure out who I am. Before I encounter human design, it was maybe uncomfortable and sometimes painful journey because it was always found on doubt. Why can I not be this or that, or very easily find a place for myself in the world? Mm-hmm. So it was always a feel of inadequacy, or I'm lacking something because I can find myself, even though I have skills and education and a career, but there's always that sense of I can find myself. And so I was moving from one experience to another. I went, tried all religions. I went to the convent for 3 years when I was 19. Always trying to find a meaning or find my place in the world. And then after the convent, I moved to the States. So that was another big shift. And I always thought that was what people do. People just change, you know. I never found like something I love to do specifically and stay there. And that also used to be a sense of pain for me because I saw people around me, they all have a passion. I'm passionate for this and I'm passionate. And I'm like, ooh, I can't find it. So it was a little bit painful. But once I found human design and I understood that characteristic of my profile as a number 3 is to experiment in life, I was able to relax. And now I am enjoying life now better than I ever could, even if I'm still figuring it out or trying to find my space. And I know now that it's all about the experience for me.
Yeah.
There is no, I'm not here to be this or that or to do this. I'm here to experience myself and experience life. So having that shift in perception and perspective really was incredibly healing and profound for me.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yes.
So that's already a lot of interesting things to dive into. So you were born in Colombia, moving to the States. So just that is like such a huge shift, such a huge transition. And when you came to the States, did you already speak English or did you have to learn English when you got to the States?
I had to learn English. I didn't
Wow.
know the language, and I didn't know anybody here really. I didn't have a family. I don't have a family in the States that was able to support me. So I came via the support of a group since I was in the Catholic Church and I participated in these Catholic groups. There was a group that would host people from other countries to support. So I came as to the experience in a family of
Mhm.
Americans that host me for about a year. And I had the opportunity to learn English with them. They had 7 children, which
Wow.
did not speak Spanish at all. So they were my greatest supporters and best teachers of the English because they would sit with me. There was one of them, Matthias was his name, and he would sit with me and say, okay, let's practice. And so help me deal with the self-consciousness
Mhm.
of having an accent or maybe not being able to pronounce the words like a native person would do. And so
Yeah.
that was an amazing opportunity. And that's the other experience I had had in my life that I've been reflecting about that has to do with maybe being a 3. And is that I have, or maybe being a mental projector. I haven't been able to pinpoint what it is, but it's the ability to experience the unconditional support from source. Like no matter
Yeah.
where I go, there's always going to be people or
Mhm.
tools or something I can learn that will help me go through the experience.
Wow.
Even experience of heartbreak. There's always going to be somebody there that even if they don't know why I have pain or why I'm suffering, they will love me enough to help me and hold space for me, even if they don't know. So I
Yeah.
have always found that very amazing,
Yeah.
even before human design, that constant presence of the support from source in my life.
Yeah. That is something that I observe with all mental projectors is that we all have a relationship with some kind of divinity, some kind of
Yeah.
idea of something beyond us because we're trying to find our place in the world and what is our environment, our authority, but our environment is the universe. It is source energy.
Mm,
It
yeah.
is it is the energy of God, if you want to call it that, or you can call it what
Right.
you want. So, did you always have that relationship since you were a child, or did that develop when you were older?
I always had it. I actually have a memory, a very specific memory. I don't remember a lot about my childhood, but this memory has always been with me. I probably was age 3 or something, and I had this feeling of myself. And I don't know if people had that. I had this like, oh, I can feel me, and I thought that was normal, that everybody had it. Maybe everybody do, I don't know, but I had it. And ever since that connection with that source, I have called it many things. I call it God because I was in religion and creation, creator, the universe, source. But the essence, the feeling of what that is, has never
Yeah.
changed, and
Wow.
it's deep inside. And so I remember one time in my life where I kind of felt that that connection was severed, that I lost it, and it was because I was judging myself as unworthy of that connection. And
Wow.
that's been the most difficult time in my life. But the incredible thing was that I remember that the experience, I was so devastated with pain, and I felt, I don't deserve to be supported. And I remember I put myself on the floor. I threw myself on the floor and said, okay, source, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do this. And I experienced immediate the unconditional love of source. It's like, I am not the one that is separating from you, so
Yeah.
come back to me. So
Wow.
it was me who had to go back to that connection, to believe, to trust, to throw myself into that, because that was what I perceive is like, you are the one moving away from me, not me, because I was judging myself. So having a reconciliation with the moment, with the event, with the experience, with source, and ever since, it's always been connected. I always been connected. I cultivate that connection every day through
Mm-hmm.
meditation and other practices. I talk to source all the time, because I
Yeah.
think that is the only constant in my life, has been. And if I had that, I'm going to be okay.
Wow, I love that story. So, what's really interesting is that, yeah, I really believe all mental projectors find a relationship with something bigger than themselves because we're trying to make sense of how we fit into this world.
Yeah.
It makes me think of my own experience with God. I call it God, but of course, anyone can decide what they call it, source. But actually, I discovered God after I'd lost him in Costa Rica. I went to Costa Rica and I was having a total existential anxiety
Mm-hmm.
attack breakdown. And I was so devastated. I couldn't sleep. I felt so lost. I didn't know what was the point. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I was full of anxiety and panic. And I literally threw myself on the floor and said, please help
Mm-hmm.
me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do this. And I fell asleep for the first time in weeks. And when I woke up, I felt the presence of
Yep.
Source, God, Creator. And I realized I got the download, which was, oh, you've never been alone. You just didn't see. You just didn't stop and understand that you're a part of this, that I am with you, that you are with me, that there is no separation. And yeah, that was a very interesting story. But basically, I didn't speak for 2 weeks. I just felt
Wow.
and so for years I was speaking to God in Spanish because I was like, God's in Costa Rica. Okay.
Oh, good thing he speaks all the languages, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I think that's so beautiful because that is something as mental projectors, I think we need to cultivate if we don't already have a relationship. I think
Yeah.
it's so important. But in my experience, every one of us that I've encountered has that relationship. So for any mental projectors that are starting out that don't have that connection, what would you say about that, cultivating that relationship?
I think that for me, what has worked is to look at my experience and figure out and see and pinpoint the places where I find that support. So the loving person or friend or family member or loved one that comes and sits and asks me how I'm feeling, ask me if they can help me, even if it's one person, you know,
Yeah,
or the little child in the restaurant that I don't know if it happens to you, but to me, children come to the table and look at me and I'm like, hi. You know, I always say that as when I'm feeling the worst or sad or confused or lost, there's always something.
yeah,
An animal that I'd never seen in my life shows up on my window, you know,
yeah,
or on the street. And I'm like, wow. So kind of look at those little examples of kindness from life and then feel inside because that connection is already there. And so,
yeah,
and then use whatever is familiar to you. Start there. Like for me at the beginning was praying because I was Catholic. So I learned to pray the rosary. And then when I explored other religions like Buddhism, then was just meditation. But you
yeah,
start getting familiar in trying what works for you and start
yeah,
with what you already know. So if you talk to yourself and try to find that connection and that conversation, not just with your mind, because we're mental projectors, we're going to be talking to ourselves, but go
yeah.
beyond that voice of the mind
Mm-hmm.
and say, I'm lost. What can I do? What should I do? And
Yeah,
I, in my personal experience, is whenever I ask source for an answer, it would come to me on a
yeah,
movie, for instance, or I'm watching a movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, or I read a book or something. So keep an eye for little messages.
yeah, yeah,
Observe life because it's going to be always giving us that signal that we're not alone. And then focus on what you already know and explore from there. And then if you're curious, which we all are, just say what would happen if I pray and also meditate, or if I pray and just sit and listen to a song and feel it in my body. And recently, what I've been trying in the current last years is including my body in the experience.
Yeah.
So I just started learning Qigong this past
Mhm.
week, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
So getting the body involved in that connection to me is the ultimate action for that intimacy with source when the body is part of it too.
I love that. Yeah, it's just being immersed in the environment, like
Mhm.
immersing ourselves in the environment. So yeah, that's so beautiful. And that really is also a testament to how our environment speaks to us. It's like there is information constantly being shown to us.
Yeah,
We just have to pay attention and see.
yeah,
It's always coming through, especially when we need it. And another thing I find is that mental projectors, we have a special relationship with surrender because there's so much we're not in control of. There's
yeah,
so much
absolutely.
we can't control. But when we can learn to stop resisting, holding on to something, when we can just let go, that's when we can feel the support of the universe, of the environment,
Mhm.
of those animals, those birds, those
Yeah,
children, but also when we can feel like what is out of alignment or in alignment for
yep,
us. So I guess for you, surrender has been a big part of your journey, would you say?
absolutely. I think my greatest challenge in life, which I'm still deconditioning for, has been resisting.
Mm,
I
yeah,
used to call myself when I was a teenager, I am the rebel without a cause. And I didn't even know what that meant, right? I'm like, I just don't like anything and anybody. I don't want it.
yeah,
And of course, I made my journey that much painful and challenging, right? But understanding now that, yeah, there's definitely the ability to surrender, and how I was able to shift my impression of what um, resistance was, because I used to think that resistance was my way to retain my power. Like
yeah,
I'm so powerless that the only way I can have some power is by resisting everything. That was kind of like my thought process, you know. If I am against that, I don't belong to it, and I have my power in. And it was a way also to keeping myself from a lot of grace and a lot of beauty, because I
yeah.
would keep myself out from it just by
Mm,
resisting. And what did the shift is that realization that surrendering to me is based on trust. Is I
yeah,
can trust that the process is going to work for me. I can trust that people mean or intend well for me. I can trust that I can tell what
yeah,
the intention of a person is, especially now that I know that I'm a projector and I can read people. I was able to read people, but now that I know exactly that that is real, like a real thing,
yeah,
then I can trust them more and go like, okay, if somebody doesn't feel right for me,
yeah,
then it's not resisting them. It's just an action, a conscious action of removing myself from their space, because it's not going to be for my growth. But
yeah,
also, if I feel that something is right for me, then move towards it. You know,
yeah,
be receptive for those things or people to come to me, which didn't happen when I was in resistance. You know, like no.
yeah,
But now I have been able to see that I have access to a lot more things and opportunities, because I am not always in this state of alarm and alert of what
yeah,
can hurt me, but
yeah,
instead of relaxing and trusting. And of course the trust is always a work in progress,
yeah,
that I support myself through that connection to source, and
yeah,
then by allowing myself to experiment. So let me try this. Oh, ouch, that didn't work. So move. But also, one of the things I love about my profile now, which I did in the beginning, is that being a number 3 allows me to have experiences,
yeah,
and I'm going to be okay. Even
Yeah.
if I fall and get up, I'm still gonna be okay. Yeah, I might have scratches, but I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna die in the next experiment. I'm gonna be okay. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
having that knowledge is like, okay, so jump, go, do, try, allow, let in.
Yeah.
So that has been the big shift for me, moving from that sense of I am always in danger,
Yeah.
resist it, to I am okay, I'm protected, I'm whole, I can trust. And also improve,
Yeah.
or I guess make better my and trust my ability to sense what's okay for me.
Yeah. So, yeah, you said a lot of amazing things. And so I was thinking of a couple things, like you're a Scorpio sun, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm a Scorpio moon, Taurus sun, but Scorpio, one of the big lessons is learning to let go with
Wow.
grace. And also, like, all those things you were talking about is that energy of Scorpios, the protection, resisting,
Okay.
self-protection, right? So,
Yep.
and that also ties in with the human design. That's also your human design is this, your sun is the Scorpio energy, right? So it's like very resilient. Like Scorpios can be resilient through everything. And that's your line 3 as well, which you have in your unconscious side.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it on my conscious side. So I've always been aware of how many weird things I try and fail and fall, but yours is unconscious. So I mean, obviously through this work, the work that you do of personal development and understanding yourself, you are obviously conscious that you have this third line in you more and more. But what was that experience like? Was there a period of time when you didn't know or you didn't acknowledge that you were here to fail and experience? And like, what was that process of uncovering, like, oh my God, it's okay to fail?
Yeah, most of my life, actually, I have always been curious about tools for self-development. That was very natural to me. But what changed is the objective. I was always looking for tools to fix me because I thought
Mm,
there was something wrong with me. You know,
yeah.
I things that I wanted to do, I was not successful at. While other people will do the same thing, and they were like, "Wow!" I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
I did that the same way." And so I always had this sense that that I am not enough, or I am inadequate. There's
Yeah.
something that I do not have that
Yeah.
other people have. So it's coming from a sense of lack. So
Yeah.
I was learning, going to therapy. I tried everything, therapy, all energy works, Reiki, everything to fix that.
Yeah.
Even one of the tools that have been the most useful to me recently is called Theta Healing, which is a form of meditation where you can do trauma release through belief work, which has been amazing. I mean, that really, I think that because I did that work, I was able to find human design. If I
Yes.
don't that work, if I don't work on that first, I probably would be very resistant for human design, especially with my design. You
Yeah.
know, 1-3 mental projector and a quad right. I'm like, oh no, sorry, no.
Yeah.
Let me continue living my life in ignorance because that is too much.
Yeah.
But having that awareness that the 3 for me is unconscious, it was so healing and soothing. You know, I went through a process of grieving, like grief, like, oh my God, poor Angelica, all her life struggling to be and to succeed and to do. Well, my mechanics, it's to just try it, you know? So it's like, I always say these examples, like if I was trying to be an airplane, what I was a truck. So it's not gonna work. My mechanics don't work. I'm not built to, to fly. I'm a truck.
Yeah.
So having that understanding that I'm better equipped
Yeah.
to be more like a scientist that observes and goes, oh, didn't work that variable. That really has helped me heal all that process of feeling not enough or lacking.
Yeah.
And now being able to go like, okay, I'm gonna do that. If it doesn't go the way I think I want it to go, because that's the other thing, my mind is trained to look at the end point instead of the journey. And so,
Yeah.
of course, when I get there and it's not the way I imagined it, I'm like, oh, why? So it's making that shift in to me, the juice of life is that process of getting there. And then
Yeah.
when I get there, it's going to be awesome, but then I'm going to want more. So, okay, let's go to the next one. And then, okay, next. So that's that. And apply that concept on everything, like even in my diet. So,
Yeah.
okay, try this, try that, or my health or relationships, so it's go and experiment and view. The thing I love about being a 1-3 as the unconscious side
Yeah.
is that because it's unconscious, it's in my body, I can
Yes.
totally trust it. That if
Yes.
I stay out of the way,
Yeah.
that if I don't try with here, if I
Yeah.
don't try with my personality to force it,
Yeah.
it's taken care of for me because it's in my body.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that aspect. It's not something I have to work on because it's already there.
Yeah. It's
And so
beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I love to hear that story. That's incredible. So what about the line 1? Like that's your conscious side. Like did you, when you heard you were a 1 conscious, the investigator and the creator, like studying, understanding the systems, the foundation, like needing to know everything to feel safe. It's
Mm-hmm.
about safety as well. Like, did that resonate with you? And does that show up like in your life? Is that part of your experience?
Yes, it is. I have always been a curious person about everything in general. So I always like to learn, read books, especially self-development. I only started reading science fiction movies or fiction books recently. Most
Mm-hmm.
of my life was all about self-improvement. But as I said before, I was trying to fix me.
Yeah.
So I think that now, because I'm not trying to fix me anymore and I'm getting to accept and enjoy who I am, now I can
Yeah.
enjoy a book about fantasy or something that is made up and really enjoy it. But like, okay, because before I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I was like, it doesn't make any sense. It's a book and enjoy it. Go with the journey.
Yeah.
Okay. And then yes, I always research. I mean, even when I have to buy something, and this is something that annoys the people that know me sometimes very closely. Like, let's say I want to buy a new, I don't know, a new iPad, a new tablet. I have to research, do YouTube research about reviews, go on Google, now a chat GPT, give me 3 alternatives. Which one is better? I mean, I had to do so much. And people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then I go like, okay, this is the one I want, at the
Yeah.
end. But
Yeah.
what is interesting, and I think the people around me have started to realize, is that they can take advantage of that. And so now when they need something, hey, I want to buy a new TV. I'm like, okay, hold on. And I can just, get all this research for them and say, these 2 or 3 are, and they can pick from there.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah, and I even think it applies in a sense that I always want to know why.
Yeah.
When I notice that is, let's say I go to the doctor and they say, okay, we're going to give you, I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Tell
Mm-hmm.
me. And if people don't tell me why, it's uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
feel like you were saying, that maybe I don't feel safe. I need to
Yeah.
know to be
Yeah.
able to think, okay,
Yeah.
yeah or no, yes or no.
Yeah.
And I thought always that was everybody, but no, I have around me people that are like, because do it. I'm like, no, just do it. So it's been, that aspect has been very useful. I think that has been one of the most useful things in my life, is help me
Mm-hmm.
go through my experience and my experiments in a little more, I would call it control experiment, as
Yeah.
opposed to just like, well, let me see what happens and everything, because I go into experience, go like, okay, let me look first a little bit or a lot, and then
Yeah.
I go into the experience. So I find that part very helpful.
Yeah. So you gave me a great idea. This is a great tip for anyone listening. So any of the one lines in your life, go to them when you want to buy a product or something to see what research they can pull out for you. This is very useful and helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I'm
Of
going to do that.
course, we're here to serve.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. So, okay, so now let's talk about your experience of how did you find out about human design? Like, what was that experience like? And what was that process like? Also, how long has it been? Like, how long have you been
Mhm.
exploring this?
So I encountered human design probably 3 or 4 years ago. I
Mm-hmm,
was listening to an astrology YouTube channel,
mm-hmm.
and the astrologer mentioned human design, and she even say, "Go get your chart." I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." 'Cause I'm always curious. I'm like, "Oh,
Wow.
give me any system that I can learn myself, and you have me there. I'll be first in line the next day. Okay, me." So I say, "Yeah, sure." So I had a session, of reading a chart, and it was a shock to my system. I was
Yeah.
not ready. I was
Wow.
just not ready. The thing that impacted me the most was the fact that I was supposed to wait,
Yeah.
and the fact that as a mental projector, I there's not a consistent thing within me
Yeah.
that can support me making decisions.
Yeah.
That I have to observe my environment, that I have to talk aloud. I'm like, no, I just don't know how to. People don't like me talking because I tend to talk a lot. It's one of the things of the conditioned throat.
Yeah.
Before human design, I didn't know that, so I was pushing myself to getting the attention of people because I felt not seen before. So I would talk, and people I could feel when they were like, "Okay, I'm done." And
Yeah.
so that realization and the understanding of the reality of my life since I was a child
Yeah.
until that point, it was very painful. And so I went in kind of like denial. I'm like, nope, don't mind it, don't care. That system doesn't work for me. Nope, nope. I'm gonna keep doing my thing. But then human design kept popping up in my life through other YouTube channels, and I remember I found another reader in Australia, and I took like 3 sessions, a package with her. It was amazing because I was able to kind of like understand a little more. And I have worked with this Theta Healing I told you about before on resisting what would be helpful to me. And so when I got to that point, I was able to listen better. I think having a packet worked great for me because it allowed me to go slower
Yeah.
and understand piece by piece, my type, my definition. What does it
Yeah.
mean, a mental projector specifically?
Yeah.
So it was slower, and my body was able to assimilate it better.
Yeah.
Um, and after that, I was hooked. I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. I want to learn. I want to know. And then I started doing looking on YouTube for content, people that had content around human design, and that's how I found you. And knowing that you were a mental projector too was like, what? That's amazing, because usually my sessions were with other generators or projectors, but all different definitions, different authorities. And so I was like, wow, that is so cool to be able to relate to a mental projector.
Yeah.
I think I had another session, another class. I took a class, and the teacher was a mental projector as well. But
Mm-hmm.
it makes a lot of sense when you start getting people around that you say something, they're like, oh my God, me too, me too. I'm like, oh, okay. So I felt like, okay, then I'm not that weird. I'm not
Yeah.
just like super weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people like me. And so it makes it also easy because it gives you a source of support system that you can go to them and say, how do you do this, or do you
Yeah.
experience this, and how do you work that out so it doesn't become a limitation for you. So
Yeah.
it's been cool.
Yeah. So so now that you're speaking about like finding the other mental projectors and stuff, like basically what has been illuminated for me is that we need to hear from each other. Like mental projectors need to hear other mental projectors speaking from experience and from their unique wisdom based on their chart, based on their gifts and the way that they see it. Because we're so misunderstood, we're so hard to understand. And, you know, most of the other human design types, they would love to understand us and they do try. And okay, the projectors, they can understand us to a point, but there's this thing that they don't quite get because of how unstable we are, how insecure we are with this authority, how challenging it is to figure it out. It's so elusive and mysterious and whatnot. And, you know, that's like a huge reason why, like, I wanted to make content for mental projectors because there's such a lack of mental projectors sharing their wisdom. And I wanted to find it online when I was seeking, when I was looking. So that's another reason why I wanted to make this mental projector mystery school, which I'm so pleased you were in the first cohort. So that brings us up to this point, which is, so what was that experience like for you? We were a very intimate group. We were 4 of us. So maybe can you just talk about how that experience was for you?
Absolutely. It was amazing, inspiring, healing. Just because I think the nature of a mental projector, which we can hold the space, and according to Ra, we are the outer authority because we can help others, right? So having a group of people that can look at me and go, boom, 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 but in a way that is absolutely non-judgmental. I love that about mental projectors. That's what I experience about myself, is I can hold a conversation with a person and be witness to their most difficult moments or challenges, or the most amazing experiences when they are absolutely excited and happy. And I can hold the space for them. I don't hold emotional, but I'm also, because mental projectors, we don't have the emotion center defined. We don't have to hold that emotion with them. So we're great opportunities to hold a space for someone that needs to clarify themselves, because we can listen and kind of like project back at them what are they doing, what are they feeling, and they can hear themselves and go like, oh, okay, I got it, you know. I think it's because of that, because we're not connecting with the emotion and being there with them. In a sense, we can be more helpful, I guess, because we're neutral. So being with all the mental projectors was awesome, because I could share my experiences, my pain, my suffering, my successes, everything, my confusion, my doubts. And there was always a place where I could find that certainty, most of the time by myself, but sometimes also by what my other group community people were sharing, you know. And the other thing that it was fascinating to me was that we were all 4 mental projectors, but with different specific designs. Like there was a quad right, which was me. We had a quad left. And then we have two of you that were half and half. And then the profiles, and 2 of you had the troll defined, and 2 of us didn't have it, and 1 of us didn't have the head defined. So it's even though we share this global grouping or definition, it's still individual. We still are so very specific, and that is so super rich, because I was able to see how the 2 of you that had the troll defined were more able to express yourselves with more confidence and without having to process all of the data a lot. And also knew when to stop talking. And then with the 2 of us that didn't, especially me, you know, that I tend to talk a lot. So it's like, okay, that is amazing. Also seeing them, all of you, your journeys of self-empowering, of overcoming challenges, especially about self.
Yeah.
Because everybody in the world is challenging, is going through challenges, especially this day and age. But the challenge that is specific about ourselves, getting to a place where we finally love ourselves or care about ourselves and can
Yeah.
see the pain and feel compassion for ourselves and go like, wow, you've been through a lot, girl, So, and it's okay. You're safe now. I
Yeah.
gotcha. I
Yeah.
gotcha because I'm now an adult. I can do this I gotcha. And see
Mhm.
that journey on other people with such reverence.
Yeah.
It was an honor. I mean, I was always waiting for that day to come. Like, oh, today is the day where we get together, and it always felt very kind of like a sacred environment. Everybody
Yeah.
being able to be so vulnerable. It was
Yeah.
amazing. So I will say that if people can get to a place like that, go for it. Because
Yeah.
as you were saying, as a mental projector, the sense of loneliness could be very overwhelming,
Yeah.
and the sense of isolation
Yeah.
could be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
The sense of even if they want to get me, they can't get me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be able to go also understand that people out there are doing the best they can
Yeah.
to do life the way I am, the way you are. And
Yeah.
so that it's a beautiful thing, grabbing that um, awareness in realizing that if I bring everything to me, I'm going to be
Mhm.
more effective in making changes than if I stay focused on the other. So it's moving from blaming others or blaming life or
Yeah.
why me, into self-empowering, going like, okay, I just need to
Yeah.
find the tools that are going to work for me
Yeah.
to change this. So yeah.
Yeah, like for me, it was so fascinating to see. Well, we had such similar stories, even though different parts of the world, like different, but very similar stories, similar experiences with self-worth, which is, I believe, something that we all share as mental projectors. It is a journey to self-empowerment for us
Mhm.
because of how misunderstood everything you've said, and how isolated and how much rejection we have faced for being and seeing what we see and then saying it at the wrong times, right? So
Yes.
so we shared such similarities and yet such differences. And what amazes me when you get mental projectors together is the amount of wisdom.
Mm.
It is profound.
Yeah.
Like that actually floored me just to see how each one of us could process information and see it in this other way, bringing in another perspective. And how many, and we said this in the group, that it's like one would be speaking and everyone's like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like not a sacral, but we were like, oh, I feel that. Like
Yes.
finally someone's saying this thing.
Uh-huh.
So, we need that support system. We need to
Mm.
hear, see, and interact. Like
Yeah.
it's just a different experience. So yeah, so that's why like I'm so grateful to meet you and the other mental projectors that I have contact with to learn
Mhm.
and understand how your experience is and how it is so challenging for us. And one of the big challenges that we all share, and I think most mental projectors have, is about the voice,
Mhm.
expressing the self and not being afraid to be, well, persecuted, not being afraid to be, hung. I mean, I'm a line 535, so I have this extra like projection thing where people love me or hate me, fine. But it's even beyond the line 5. It's like this saying the things that hurt other people without us wanting to hurt,
Mm.
like us wanting to help them, but then
Yeah.
saying the things that we think could help them snap out of their delusion or their bad situation, but them not wanting to hear it. them not being ready to hear it, and just being so afraid to express ourselves. So I know in my life, like finding my voice, even though I'm very confident now on camera, I speak. I mean, I have the 4323. That's literally my gift, is to channel what needs to be said and speak it. But it was a very painful road because I did not my voice. So even in my story, I have this low self-worth on the self-expression. So being an open throat and also a mental projector and a line 3, you know, as well, having that trial and error, like what has or is your experience now with expressing yourself? I know that you're not used to doing like a public speech thing like this podcast. I will share with people, and we spoke about this, and I'm so grateful that you are, you know, going beyond your comfort zone to be publicly seen, and I know what that takes. So I really appreciate you doing it. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes. So the voice is, I think, to me, currently what is becoming the focus point of my deconditioning and healing. In two ways. One is the actual voice, healing the voice, and so thank you also for showing me the exercises, because those are very helpful. Because I actually get congestion in my throat, and I get, you know, what people call frog in my throat all the time when I'm asked to speak in public, or if I don't know you. If you're a new person and you come and approach me, it's like, so it is all about my nervous system and the fear and wanting to fly, because that's my response to fear is run as fast as you can from the situation. I don't fight, I run. So that is part of that, and freeze. So when somebody was showing me the other day, the freezing is actually when we are so frightened to run that we just play dead, so we don't have to be attacked or something. And that's, I think, what's happened to my voice. My voice kind of freezes and doesn't want to come out. So working on that deconditioning, doing different techniques, practicing. Even one thing that I found interesting is in our group, you set up for us the boxer. And I thought, oh, we're gonna be chatting, we're chatting all the time, chatting, talking. Nope. Even for myself, saying I'm gonna say something. I'm like, maybe I should write it. So it's that sense of being either ashamed of the voice or afraid of the voice. I think in my case is not wanting to be ridiculed, or I feel like I'm gonna say something that is gonna be kind of like silly, like. And also the other point of it is how my voice can support others in their journey, because I grew up as being kind of like, or assuming the role of the savior. So what's wrong with you? I can see what's wrong with you. In my opinion, what's wrong with you? And let me try to fix you. And so, of course, people will go like, hey, no, don't touch that. That's my journey. Let me do it. And I will interpret that as, oh, they don't appreciate me. So I went through the whole thing. And that's with human design, when I learned about the bitterness and the resentment of the rejection for a projector, I'm like, whoa, ding, 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 ding. And I even have had in my life a chronic condition with my liver. I was like, wow, bitterness, resentment, liver, yes, hello. So I have, the work of that, like now I can heal my liver and allow it to just chill and be and accept the responsibility that I am not here to save anybody. I am here to experience them and to experience me in relation to them. What do I feel? How do I feel? What do I look when I'm interacting with other people? but their journeys are sacred. And there's nothing wrong with people's journeys. Now, I could be of assistance, perhaps, but it's only if they think I can. So hence the invitation. So that understanding for me, that waiting for the invitation was not because I was being punished or like, oh yeah, you have to wait. No, it's not in that sense of dismissing. It's in the sense of accuracy for the skill of being able to see what doesn't work. That's me. I have the logic, the channel of logic.
Yes.
So my thing is always, I can always see what's not working. Even if I don't want to, like, oh, I know what's not working there. Okay, if they ask you, but if not, being able to recognize and go like, oh, that's kind of cool that I could see that. And that was a point of contention for me in my healing journey, because I always used to say, why is it that I always see the dark point or the dark spot in a blank paper? I used to think of me as, oh, maybe I'm not grateful enough, or maybe I'm too complaining. But understanding that that's just a skill I have.
Yeah.
You know, like the people that can play music or they can sing. Yeah. It's a skill. And I can decide when to use it or not. I don't have to use it all the time and go like, hey, that and that. I'm not here to organize, manage, no, I'm just here to observe, learn, enjoy my life, get better at something in the meantime, which in my case is get better at being myself. and then allow people to come to me. So one time I was thinking, okay, so it's just like, let's say I'm a mechanic and I have a shop, right? So the difference between now and before is that before I was the mechanic going outside into the freeway and saying, hey, I think you're leaking your oil. Can I fix it for you? You know, hey, you. Now I'm just in my shop.
Yeah.
And people would come to me with like, hey, my car is not working. Can you see if you can fix it? And I go like, oh yeah, I can see. Or not. You know, maybe they can help you better. I mean, it all depends. You know, there are things I might be able to get. But that had been a big difference, because now I can be in my shop getting better at being a mechanic, at being myself, as opposed to having to go out there in the sun and get burned and try to, stop people to try to fix their cars, which most of the time they just go by. And I'm like, no, you want me to help you. No, it's not that. So that to me has helped me profoundly to just relax and go like, if they don't ask me, it's something I learned to add to my skill. Yeah. But that's it. I see it, but they don't see it. It's not to me to tell them. And if they come to me, when they do, then the beauty of it is that it will certainly come from a place of neutrality, not me wanting to fix them. So it will let them be. I've seen that people live more empowered, because it's like they are in charge of their journey and they can, do whatever. They just needed a little bit. They just needed to see something they couldn't see before. Yeah. And now they see there. Now, what are they going to do about it?
Exactly.
I don't have to do it for them. They can do it themselves. So I think that's been amazing. And in that process, I'm healing my own voice, which is still my personal challenge. Group things, conference things, new people, still a challenge. But now I go feeling, first of all, it's an experiment. Go, see, try.
I love it.
If they turn around, you're still okay. Somebody's gonna come, and it is. If I allow it to be, there's gonna be a person that will come to me and start a conversation with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I go to them, but if I stay here put and watch, somebody's gonna come and say, hey.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Trusting, back to the trusting thing.
Back to the trusting. Yeah. Yeah, that is really that is living the design that you have, truly. That is the mental projector gift, is like, you're kind of an alien, kind of a beautiful alien, learning and playing and enjoying and trying not to get caught up in the hustle bustle, seeing all these incredible things, but then allowing life to bring you the people, to magnetize it to you. And for you, it is about with that quad right, in
Mm.
your environment, you are the observer. You're here to observe the world, see what is happening, and then magnetize by your frequency of, some stuff, pretty good stuff. And if you have the courage to come and speak to me, it could be fun. But maybe I could help you or not. Like you said, like maybe I'm the right person to help you. But at the same time, and I think this is super important for mental projectors and all projectors, really, is like we are not helpful to others until we are mastering something, and mostly mastering how our system operates. Like we have to understand that we are a force to be reckoned with, that we don't know that we are, because our aura is so powerful, and it's like penetrating into the other one. And if they're not ready, like you said, like that's invasive. They're not ready. They don't want it. Like, get off me, go away. Generators and many gens that don't want, manifestors that don't want to be penetrated, like, oof, painful, and then we have to take all that time to recover. So I love to hear the wisdom. That wisdom is so beautiful. So I want to ask you about your motivation is desire. So how long has it been since you understood that, and how does that make you feel?
Oh gosh, I'm still working on it for sure. I think it's my variables and being a quite right is the next aspect and level of my design that I'm getting into now, because it is so intricate, in the desire. I think that I find myself sometimes moving into the opposite of it, which is innocence, meaning I don't care, I don't, whatever, which is not what I'm designed to. And that whatever really means I'm uncomfortable with this situation. I don't know what to do with it, and I might even resent it. I may even need to some kind of resent. Yeah, some amount of resentment, being like, I don't know, whatever. So it's not an innocence. Wow, life is good. No, it's an innocence of like whatever. I don't care internally, and so I can feel it. It's not healthy for sure. It's stagnating, and also it's bitter. So I was just thinking, when you were talking about, I was thinking about the aura of the projector, and I realized, if I make an effort or concentrate on purifying, detoxifying myself, then the flavor of my aura, it's not going to be a bitter aura or a bitter aura, right? And so it will feel better to others.
Yes.
They go like, oh, well, what's that nice attention that I'm getting? Instead of, what is that? Oh, what did I do to you? Like, the taste, energetic taste is completely, incredibly different. It's like having, a watermelon and a lime. You're like, oh, not even a lime. Limes are actually nice, but something bitter, sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know what that is. So I think that by detoxifying my emotional or my conditioning in all of levels, emotional, spiritual, whatever, even physically, if I take better care of myself, which is what I'm doing now, trying to learn, help myself make changes. And joy. But it's my aura will feel better to others as well, which will facilitate that interaction with them. Not that I'm going to go or that I have the need to penetrate them any longer. I think that changes when we understand what that waiting is and how it works for us. For us is to protect us. So, but at least it's going to feel better to them. And they're going to go like, oh, that's kind of nice. And in terms of the desire, that's when I realized that for me, it's probably works very well with my 3 line, because I want more all the time. I want more. This is, okay, I did that. I finish it. I'm like, ooh, that was nice. But okay, what is next? What is next? What is next? And be okay with that part of not being, I don't know if calling I will never be satisfied is the right thing, but it's always wanting more, like wanting more in terms of the diversity of the experience. It's not like I want more money no, it's about, okay, I was a nun for 3 years. Okay, what's next? Okay, let me go to the United States and learn the language and become part of the culture and learn from the culture and enjoy the culture. Okay, what's next? And what's next? And what's next? And what's next? Well, other designs and other motivations are more settled and go like, okay, I got a family, I love it, this is it for me. And for me to be able to go like, what's next? And be okay with that. Not feel like that makes me undecisive.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me kind of weird because, she cannot figure out. And I think that has to do with identity, the fact that I also don't have a specific identity with my G Center open. Like,
Yes.
I don't have to be someone specifically.
Yeah.
And gives me the ability to enjoy whoever I am with in the moment that I'm with them.
Yeah.
And then in personal life, in that process of learning to see how that desire is to be of use to me instead of right now maybe sometimes becoming an obstacle in the sense that if I don't get that, then I feel frustrated.
Yeah.
So I'm still that part. I'm still like, try experimenting, but that works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
Those are challenging things, the variables, because they are so specific and at the same time so etherical. Like how do you put that into something concrete?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely a more advanced stage of exploration, but so powerful to explore the motivation and to really observe it. Like mine is need and the opposite is fear. So basically, it's been very helpful for me to, when I feel overwhelmed or when I feel anxious or I feel afraid, it's like, okay, what do you need to do right now so that you're okay right now? Like, and it's like really that coming into the present moment. And I think anyone could use that when they're sort of losing themselves, but it's like, what do you need right this second? Oh, I need a glass of water. It's that simple. I need a shower. I need to eat, So instead of getting overwhelmed by everything, and our minds are so active, we're like trying to figure out everything. Like it's bringing it down to, oh, there's a fear. Okay, I'm off the path. I'm afraid. Instead of, I'll give you an example. For example, with money, like, oh my God, I'm afraid I need to make money. Like, oh my, overwhelming. How am I going to do this? It turns into, what do I need to do right now to make this one step to move forward? Or what do I need to get out of my bitterness, like you said, so that I can attract instead of repelling people?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the variables are fascinating for people to explore. So I think we're going to start to wind it down because we've had a beautiful conversation. So I guess, where are you at right now in what you do in the world? Like, I know you do Theta Healing. Do you offer that to people? Is that something you do? You do sessions for people? Or also, I know you're doing a class, a human design class. So are you in tell us, what is the work you're doing? What will you be doing so that, if you want, we can put that in the notes if people are interested in checking you out.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So I've been experimenting with Theta Healing for about 10 years. And I have found that technique is very effective. Also, I know now, because I know my design, my flavor of Theta Healing includes being able to tap into the body system. So actually I can work with people and their emotions trapped in an organ or a system, and we, we're able to release it from them using theta waves. So it has been, I've used it mainly for myself, and I can tell it's transformed me completely. And that was even before I knew my design. So now that I have my design, what has helped me is I can tailor it. Instead of kind of like fishing for something, now let me see if it's trauma, childhood trauma around this. I can now go like, there is childhood trauma about not being seen, for sure. Let's work in there. And so it makes it more effective. Human design give me a map, a tool, like, okay, let's go there. For sure there is trauma around this, for sure there's trauma around that. Because of our type, because of our profile. So I love it because now I can focus. Before, my sessions were more about what do you need, what do you want to work on, and then we will go from there. But now I'm trying to incorporate human design. So I'm offering, if you want me to know, provide me your information so I can run your chart. And when we meet, I have an idea of where we could maybe start. And of course, it's always, if there is urgency for the person that wants support with maybe a phobia that they want to, or a habit that they want to modify, we can start there too. It's no big deal. But I think human design makes us more effective. It's about effectiveness because it helps us work together into let those core issues resolve and release from the system. And then you can continue growth as because that trauma conditions us to behave the same way because we're responding to an experience that hurt us. And if that memory of that experience is not anymore in our system, then our system can make new choices and we will respond different to an event because it's not going to the past. So I found that fascinating. I'm still learning, experimenting. I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. So I do have offer sessions. I have a website that I can give you all the information so you can put if anybody's interested to make an appointment with me, and we can go for there because I think empowering ourselves in the journey includes tools and help from others. So I'm also finishing up a certification in human design, so I'm more able to read a chart and understand the chart for someone else. Also because I love it and I want to keep going down and down. That's my line one. I want to just keep show me more, and also my desire more. What else? So I want to keep going that way. And my goal is to be able to integrate both. The human design would allow us to see with clarity the areas that we can maybe support first, and then with the theta work release the trauma that might be unfolding or receding there that is creating the limitation. I'm also now diving a little bit into ENT, tapping to support sometimes because I'm working with the body, sometimes a memory and emotion. We can clear the belief that creates that trauma, but also the tapping allows the organ or the system to completely release it. So see if I can combine them all, and I will support everybody to go find a tool, whatever it is, whatever works for you. Talking to someone, talk therapy, Reiki, hypnosis, whatever, a tool that will support you into changing and releasing and removing from your system what has created the conditioning that makes heart so challenging and painful in the suffering, and moving to joy. So and then also be okay with changing tools. So let's say I started with this tool and I'm done with the tool, go to the next one, kind of like changing shoes. I know we have favorite pair of shoes that we love, but there's a point down that we have to move and find new shoes. So encourage everybody to find that support and tools that will empower you personally to use them when you need them. At the moment you need them.
I really believe mental projectors are all healers. They're all healers. We heal with our presence when we are in our mastery, when we have studied our systems that keep us in alignment, right? And all the mental projectors I've met, every one of them is doing some kind of healing work. My journey was Reiki, just as one, meditation, subconscious block stuff, but every single one of us has a technique, and like that is this incredible gift we have, is deeply feeling the other, like in all levels of being, is like mental, spiritual, emotional, physical. Literally, we can tap into their system. So it helps us to understand what's out of alignment. So yeah, I will definitely include the link below. And so I guess with the last, I'll ask you one last question. And I guess that would be, so what would be your last, what would you share about new mental projectors figuring it out? Like one last message for the people, or even what do people need to understand about mental projectors? You can choose which one is easier or resonates.
Yeah, I would say for us mental projectors, especially if we just found out that you are a mental projector, is allow yourself to feel the way you feel. So if you're feeling sad or angry or confused, just let it in, let it, feel it. And do the grieving process. Grieve for the one you thought you were. Grieve for the time you thought you were wrong, or that something was wrong with you, or that you were not enough, or that you were a failure. Grieve that. Allow yourself to be sad and love that person, that self, that even though has experienced that hardship in life, is still here and going forward. And if you are learning that you're a mental projector, it's because you're looking for release. It's because you are looking for healing. So kudos to you. Keep going for it. Trust, work on trust of the source. Connect to your source, whatever means you have to do that connection. Latch to it. And let that source inform you. Let that source bring things to you, the right people, the right tools. Maybe start sharing with others what you just discover in the way that you can do it that is easy for people to understand. Say, hey, you know what? I just found out something very cool about myself, and it's helping. Because if other people know who we are, they also can, because they love us, they will integrate that information and make changes. I have a quick example. My brother, I went to see them, and he said, I want to take you out for lunch. And I have already told him before that I was a mental projector. He's a generator. So I got him a little bit into the whole idea of what it is. And I told him, as a mental projector, one of the hardest things that you can ask me is to make a decision right now. You tell me, you want this now? I'm like, and what's most likely going to happen is I'm going to end up saying, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, I'll do whatever you want to do. I'll go whatever you want to, because it was going to take me a long time for me to figure out what I want to do. And if you just tell me, and I say, instead of like you as a generator, if I say, hey, you want to go out, you're going to say yes. Or you're going to say, no. And that's it. That's your answer. Yeah. Me? No. I'm going to end up going, because I can feel the pressure. I have to decide now, decide. I'm going to say, okay, whatever I'll do whatever you want to do. So I explained all that to him. And so the next day or so, he said, I want to take you out for lunch. We're going to be there in about 3 hours. And I want to tell you now, so you have the time to think about what you want. And this is the place I'm going to take you. And this is the food they have there. So and I felt so loved by him. I was like, oh my God, he listened to me. So, and he's not, 3 hours for what I'm gonna eat. That's very generous. Now tell me. So I was like, wow. And so right before we went to the restaurant, I said, okay, I know what I want. He's like, okay. And that's what I got. And I enjoyed it. And we have a beautiful conversation about human design. It was amazing. So if we let other people know who we are, how we function, they might change, make little adjustments for us. And that's going to heal us, because we're going to feel the love. We're going to be maybe feel seen. Yeah. And start experiencing what being seen and recognized feels like, because we don't have a lot of that experience in our lives,
Yeah. And also acknowledging that they might not get it.
Correct. Yes.
And I guess seeing ourselves as well. in case. That's a beautiful
Yes.
story.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what we all hope for. And for anyone that has the opposite, it's okay if they don't understand.
Correct.
Remember,
Correct.
we're here to understand ourselves through observing the other. And we do have to learn how to give that love and validation. We spoke about that before. Acceptance, trust.
To ourselves.
Yeah, to ourselves.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Angelica. This has been a
Thank
beautiful
you.
conversation. And we will talk soon.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
Yay!
Wow.
That was incredible.
I actually had fun with it. You're awesome. I love you because you really, I could feel your love and your support. So that makes a big difference, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you. You were listening, so that helps.
Yeah. But you said amazing things. I think we talked about incredible things. I think it's really powerful. So